There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms.
Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this. This is the Kyzee Professional OBDII and CAN scan tool reader, code clear. Not a pro-level scan tool, not a mid-level scan tool, an entry-level scan tool. And there's nothing wrong with that for most homeowners. The only thing you're really going to be getting into would be a check engine light diag and, maybe a part swap here and there. So for that, this tool is perfect. Ooh, got a military copter coming overhead. Hold on. Well, it's rare to hear anything motorized here on the property, but certainly a military helicopter is a rarity in these parts. Anyway, back to this. Let's go ahead and unbox it. Let's go ahead. Reads and clears trouble codes in OBDII compliant vehicles 96 and newer. Resets your check engine light, clears codes, and also resets your monitors. Displays DTC definitions on a nice color screen. Prints to a PC if you choose to do so. And supports all 10 modes and enhanced modes. And you can get updates for this tool at Kyzee.com, right? Also, and this is kind of nice, stores and playbacks live sensor data. So again, even though this is what I would consider to be an entry-level scan tool, the ability to print, the ability to get some definitions to figure out what's going on, and the fact that it's updatable, and the fact that you can store live data while you're cruising and come back and replay that, means that it's like an entry-level plus tool, I would say. Certainly a huge step up from the old Lenovo scan tool that I used for so many years as a pro-level tech with an entry-level scan tool. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got here. And thanks to these folks for sending this to me. If you weren't already aware, let me make you aware that anytime I do a scan tool review like this, these tools then go on and get given to new techs entering the industry. So if it's a really cool tool, maybe I keep it and I give away one of the other scan tools I have. If it's a good tool that I think one of these new young men or women could use to get started in his career, well, that is where it heads off to after I take a look at it. Oh, wow, it is a whole lot bigger than I thought it would be. Wow, okay. Geez, I thought it was going to be like a pocket scan tool, but this is not a pocket scan tool at all. This is good size. The KC501, I'm not sure if that's the model number. Okay. And in here, nice carrying case too. Here's our, so it came with two cords, right? We got our scan tool OBDII socket cord here, and we'll go outside and test this on some cars here in a second. Okay, so that's going to plug in there. And then this is for our software updates. I'm not going to show you the update procedure on this. When we're talking about, wait a minute. Okay, maybe this is a mid-level scan tool. It actually does come with ABS and SRS abilities as well. So that places it firmly in the mid-level. Like a B-Tech would definitely be able to use something like this and make a good living probably for the first 5 or 6 years of their career with a tool like this. Awesome. So then it becomes more important to actually update software as time goes on, because you want to keep up with the latest cars and any upgrades that allow you to access systems that were previously inaccessible. That's it. This is not a battery backup unit. This unit is like most of them. They don't have any power going on there. So let's go out to the car. We'll plug it into the Volvo. That's always the hardest one to communicate with, even though it's the oldest car here in the fleet. And we'll see what this thing can do. All right, before we get started, I didn't really go over this, but this is apparently the KC501, and the owner's manual is actually really well done. 37 pages, and it's got some really good step-by-step. So again, my impression of this is going through the roof before I even plug it in, because a lot of tools kind of just leave you hanging there as far as the operation of this. So I'm impressed with that. For an amateur, for someone that doesn't really know how to do what I'm about to show you how to do, or doesn't really know what it is that all these features and functions mean, this tool this manual does a pretty good job of running you through all that. So good for them, man. All right, let me go ahead and plug this thing in. The Volvo's already running. It's just shy of June here. So this is a winter car. This is a $500 beater, and although I've got a lot more than that in repairs at this point. There we go. but this car just doesn't get used a lot in the summertime. All right, OBDII, enhanced OBDII, that's what EOBD2. Readiness test. So if you're in a state that does smog tests, a readiness test, if we reset the check engine light, we're going to use a readiness test to tell us whether or not the car has run through all of its onboard cycles. And that would tell us, hey, it's good to go. It'll pass state smog inspection, right? DTC lookup, review data, print data, setup, and about. So let's start at the very bottom here. Let's go to setup. We've got our language. We're going to keep it in English, but it's also available in Spanish or French. Configure monitors. Interesting. Unit of measure, we're going to go with English. Key beep, we're going to turn that off so it doesn't drive you all crazy. Status beep, I don't know what that is. We'll leave it on for right now. And in update mode, if we want to do updates. I did not update the tool. I will do it before I pass it along to one of those beginner techs. Here we have these three. I want to point this out, and I don't know if it's going to show up, but these right here, those are for those monitors, right? If this thing lights up green when I check it, and let's do that. It's checking right now. It's going to tell me, hey, is this thing ready to pass that smog test? If it's red, it means it's found a fault. If it's yellow, it means it just hasn't run through all of those tests yet. And if it is green, that means it's good to go. Okay, so it's found the computer. Oh, okay, so I have a pending DTC, so that's giving me, hey, everything is done, but that's not good, right? That doesn't surprise me. This car literally always has a check engine light on. It's amazing. Right now, 0 DTCs, but 1 pending. So that's what it's talking about. So when we see check marks, that means that all those PIDs or all those readiness have run and they are working. If we have that yellow flag there, that's telling us one hasn't gone through yet. And then if we have ones that are grayed out or have that circle next to it with a cross through it, that means those are not things that are on this car. This car doesn't have an air pump, and this car doesn't have EGR, so that's why those don't show up. All right, very cool. All right, let's back out of that. And we'll go to About and see what software it came with. So the software was, it's about 1.5 years old now, so definitely I'm sure there's some updates to it. But still, that's not bad that it's been updated that much. I would have expected it to be a 2018 or something like that. Okay, so we already ran through readiness tests, so I'll skip over that. Let's check out ABS and SRS and just see if it'll read this. This is a European car. And look at that, it's got pretty nice menus here. Go down to Volvo, hit enter, and we'll see if it can auto-identify the ABS system. It sure did. And we'll read the codes. No codes are stored. That's good, right? I can erase if I want to. That's really neat. Really cool. Okay. How about SRS? Awesome. So right off the bat, I'm impressed with the fact that this tool is able to talk with a European car of this vintage. These cars were very ornery. Let's put it that way. They were ornery. All right, let's go in and take a look at the OBDII system and see. It's going to try to look for that system. It's going to find the computer that is compatible with, and it will ask it a bunch of questions, and we should be able to get into some seriously cool submanuals or submenus here as well. Okay, and it's showing, hey, not everything's kosher. Mil status, though, is off. Codes found 0. All right, no, I don't want to do that. All right, I want to read engine, so we do have transmission as well. Boy, this thing really is featured. They just don't advertise it well on that cover, but we've got OBDII, we've got automatic transmission, we've got ABS and SRS. 4 system scan tools are pretty much becoming the standard for your entry-level techs, but for homeowners, this is pretty nice. All right, we're going to look at engine, and I'm going to say, let's read the codes. Let's see. No codes, right? All right, but let's see about that pending code. Let's see what it says about that. O2 sensor. This thing has had an ongoing issue with that. I'm going to rev it up a little bit. P0134, which is a generic P code. That's pretty much industry standard. And O2 sensor bank 1, sensor 1, no activity. So I've replaced it. first I replaced that sensor with an aftermarket, and it worked for about a year, and then it started getting squirrely again. And then I replaced it with an OEM, and I think what I've got is an intermittent, I've got probably a corroded terminal or something, because the OEM one also worked. Well, it worked about 2 years, but then suddenly I've started to get these codes. They come and they go. And like I said, that's the reason the light isn't on this probably, is because as you go driving, it starts to work. So, right, go ahead and back out of that. I could erase the codes, but let's take a look at the live data. Let's see if this thing really isn't working right now. All right, I want to view data. Let's see how fast the updatable processor is if I take a look at everything this car has to offer, how quickly the numbers move. That's pretty good response. I'm giving it gas. Yeah. Okay. You can see my fuel trim. Those aren't going to move around a whole lot. RPM. All right, let's take a look at RPM. Yeah, that's really good response time. Cool. I don't think it's reading the MAF sensor properly. Throttle position seems to be pretty reactive, yeah. All right, now we get into our O2 sensors. Bank 1 sensor 2. Really shouldn't be cycling that much. Might have another problem coming up. And for those of you who are kind of not doing this stuff for a living, none of what I'm saying makes sense. But if you're, and I apologize if I'm going over anyone's head here, but this is cool stuff to play with. Trust me. I can record it. I can go for that drive. I want to record everything and go for a drive. Boom! I'm recording. So now as I cruise down the road, I'm recording everything that's going on. I'm revving the engine, I'm letting the engine off, I'm doing my stuff, I'm cruising, I'm having a great time, and I feel like I've got the car to act up. And so I say I'm done. I don't know, how do you stop it? There we go. Right, and I can choose to playback. So instead of going through the playback, we'll just go ahead and play it here. And there it is, 1 of 8 frames. You can see my values change. Very useful so I don't get into a car accident while I'm driving if I'm trying to catch something acting up while I'm driving. So very cool. And of course you could do custom data if you wanted to. You don't have to look at all of it, and that would speed up the process as well if you only have 2 things you're looking at, or even 1 thing you're looking at. Freeze frame, if it had a code, that would usually give you a freeze frame showing you what the data was available when the car acted up. Readiness, and right now it would pass. OBDII monitor test, so I could run OBDII, just a sensor test, O2 sensor test. I can do component testing, really. Okay, not supported. I was going to say that's kind of advanced. That almost is pro level. Vehicle info, can't do that. I don't got the engine running right now. Modules present, right? It's showing that it shows all 3 modules that are available to read. And that's it, my friends. Let me back out of that. Right on. Let's go to DTC lookup and let's see what it can find. P301. Cylinder 1 misfire detected. So there you go. Without having to hop out of your car or get on the internet. If you're not familiar with P codes, this will give you a nice handle on that. P3000 should be random, you know, so it's pretty cool that this has that as well. I like it. Right on. Well, I guess I'll leave it at that. This is the Kyzee KC501 4-module scan tool, and I like it. I like it. It'll definitely be something that one of the new techs starting out in their career will get a good use out of, and I look forward to handing it off. Till next time, my friends, take care.